Joining me now on the shocking and pervasive dysfunction on Capitol Hill and what is going on with those radical Dems. Congressman Matt Gaetz, a member of the House Judiciary and Armed Services Committee. And Congressman, as always, it is awfully good to see you. Let's turn to the House Dems unable to condemn anti-Semitism.
Something is going on right now in the Democratic Party. You've got these new pipe-swinging progressives that are not like the Democrats of Al Gore and Bill Clinton back in the early 90s, and they are driving the message and the agenda and the energy within the Democratic Party right now. And when one of their own, Ilhan Omar, was concerned that some of the older, more established Democrats were singling her out, she was able to rally progressives to her cause. And I think that it says a lot about the direction of the Democratic Party. This is a group of people who they're going to lead with the farthest left ideas that they can, because that's where the energy is in their party.
So what is the Republican Party going to do as a countervailing party that will be seeking votes as we approach 2020? I don't hear the Republicans standing up loud, proud, tall, and strong.
Well, you see the president doing that, tweeting about the dangers of anti-Semitism today.
Congratulations, Mr. President, you tweeted.
But I mean,
can we rise to a higher level than that, Congressman?
Well, the highest level this president rose to in support of Israel and showing the world that we are standing against anti-Semitism and with our ally was moving the embassy.
I tweet.
So, I mean, I think that moving the embassy is the most significant, tangible thing we've done. And
I'm talking about a reaction to, specifically, if I were not clear, and I know that you interpreted me correctly, this specific moment of anti-Semitism, the awful, awful remarks of this Congresswoman, and the absolute failure of the Democratic Party. That should be, we should be hearing from every Republican, in my opinion. Loud and clear.
Look, Republicans have stood strongly with Representative Lee Zeldin, who has led the effort on the Republican side to condemn anti-Semitism and to restate our unwavering support.
Congressman Zeldin is terrific.
But he is taking action, and we're standing with him. Here's the problem, Lou. What we don't want to do is unite the Democrats by making this like a Republican versus Democrat issue.
No, I've got to correct you, Congressman. Here's what you've got to do. You've got to unite the Republican Party. Let the Democrats take care of themselves. Well, that's what you want to do.
I hear that, but right now you have an internal fight in the Democratic Party that is tearing them to pieces. This is merely one manifestation of that. My view for Republicans, let's go tell people what we believe. Let's back up those beliefs with strong action, like the president did moving our embassy to Jerusalem. And then let's go out and make our case to voters that we are a party that is actually moving forward with tangible things that show our commitment to our values and that's making the world a safer place. Meanwhile, you have the opposite with the Democrats.
Congressman, let's turn to the disarray within the Republican Party. You've got as many, according to Senator Rand Paul, as many as 10 Republicans who are going to vote against the president, vote for the resolution condemning the national emergency declaration. And you're talking to me about division within the Democratic Party, Congressman?
Oh, no,
what's going on with the Republicans?
The coyotes and traffickers and terrorists who are taking advantage of our southern border.
Congressman, I don't need you to persuade me there's a national emergency.
Like
we have been talking about the national emergency on this broadcast for 20 damn years.
Well, the problem is that we do have a challenge in the Republican Party where people don't see this as the emergency that it is. When you have enough fentanyl coming in the country to kill a third of the country, when you start to see MS-13 gang members popping up even in my district
I so
in
stipulate
Pensacola.
There is a crisis, as I said. There is no doubt of it. What I'm asking is it a crisis within the Republican Party in which 10 senators would line up against the President of the United States, who is trying to secure the border and to protect our national sovereignty?
Of course it is. That is a terrible betrayal of the American people who voted for this president and who expect this wall to get built and illegal immigration to stop. And by the way, it's not just the wall. It's E-Verify. It's cracking down on sanctuary cities. It's ending chain migration. And I think it's looking at the issue of birthright citizenship when you have people that purposefully take advantage of it.
Merit-based immigration, as the president has suggested. I have to tell you, I watched something today that I found sickening, and that was this president sitting next to Tim Cook, at a CEO conference in the White House on the workplace, to be led by the advisory board led by Ivanka Trump and Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross. And if what I heard was more labor arbitrage, more immigration, and more competition against the American worker at just the time the president's policies are paying off with higher wages for our working men and women and a strong economy. I found that dispiriting, and I found it an absolute reversal that to me is inexplicable.
Well, and I find it similarly disconcerting that a lot of those big technology companies are the very people who line up against the president's policies for reciprocal trade. I'm one of the sponsors of the Reciprocal Trade Act, and so we can't invite people in to help us solve our workforce challenges who then are lined up against us on the critical issue of making sure that we put American workers first and that we don't hollow out our middle class by sending jobs overseas because we're too foolish to make good trade deals. And so I think that having reciprocal trade and having people buy into that is really important to dealing with the long-term workforce challenges we have in the country.
You and I get to agree one more time. I thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Congressman Matt Gaetz, one of the great Americans representing faithfully his constituents and the nation.